Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Astral Tourist podcast, where we embark on cosmic detours and unravel the mysteries of astral projection, spirit guides, and transcendent experiences. In today's episode, I'm taking you on 2 angel-guided missions, followed by a profound transcendental astral day that I'm still trying to put into words. So, let's explore. Angel Guide Mission 1, helping someone find peace. My angel phased me into his work area again. As usual, he didn't give me many details, only that today's mission was about perspective. He's never one for lengthy explanations, preferring to let the experience unfold as it's meant to. Without warning of any kind, I was immediately phased, with no portal, no preparation, nothing, into the presence of an acquaintance I barely know. There was a brief moment of disorientation, a slight blackout phase, as if my consciousness was reorienting itself. When my senses returned, I found myself beside her, helping with a scavenger hunt that was already in progress. We were already doing that together. So I guess during part of that blackout phase, I was already with her, helping her out with this scavenger hunt. So she was driving us from one location to the next in her car. The pace was fast, and I could sense the urgency in her movements, as if the destination was more important than the journey. Suddenly, she stopped the car, got out, and began dismantling it, removing parts, almost as if she were trying to solve a puzzle piece by piece. It was quite the sight to see. Like suddenly the car's stopping, she's out there, she's pulling it apart, trying to pull it apart, and the air around her felt heavy, filled with tension. It was clear she was overwhelmed, pushing herself to the brink in an attempt to make everything work perfectly to get things in order. Feeling the weight of the moment, I gently suggested, why don't we take a break from the scavenger hunt? Let's go get some donuts and coffee. It was a simple offer, but I knew it was exactly what she needed. Even though we'd only met a few times, I remembered she likes donuts. The gesture felt grounding, a small but significant reminder to slow down. So this part here is really wowed me. She just stared at me. She just stopped and stared right into my soul, like staring right at me. And I could see the realization dawn on her face. It wasn't about pushing forward all the time. She had been caught in the trap of believing that there was no room for rest. She'd been totally encapsulated with all of her worries. And it meant failing pretty much to her to stop and take a break. So I smiled and said, I think I'm here to remind you to take a break. And while we were off having jelly donuts somewhere in the astral plane, I woke up. I remember quite vividly that they were jelly donuts. And I don't remember the flavor, though. And something just to add on here, this woman is also my significant other's ex-girlfriend. So in a way, it also felt like a kind of a testing. And I was talking with someone about this last night. Like, some of us are being tested right now, but for what? I don't know. Like, maybe more incoming energies. It's a mystery to me, but it did feel a little bit like a bit of a testing. I mean, there was no way I wasn't going to help her. But why send me there to her if it wasn't some kind of a test? So just, something to ponder, I guess, for me in particular, in the back of my mind. Get those little brain cells moving, like, why her? Why that? Somebody else could have helped with that. I mean, I was still happy to help her. I mean, she's a nice lady, actually. She's really cool. What I do know of her, anyway. So, moving on to Angel Guide Mission 2, visiting an online friend in the astral. So, these last few nights have just been power-packed. So, like, almost as soon as I was done with that, I got up, used the bathroom, did the wake back to bed technique, and I usually take like 10 or 15 minutes, but I didn't know I was going to be off somewhere again so soon, so I really was only up and back to bed in like 5 minutes. I thought, okay, I've got a breather, I'm going to actually get some sleep. Well, no. So As I drifted back to sleep, boom, my angel phased me into his workroom once again. But this time he sent me somewhere entirely different, to visit an online friend. The only guidance I received that it would just be a quick visit. This friend is someone I know online, and he also practices astral projection. He knows who he is. And it was just before dawn at his location. So when I arrived, he was outside his house speaking with an older woman with short, curly gray hair. I zoomed over to make sure it was really him. He didn't notice me immediately, so I gently reached out and touched the back of his loose white shirt. I just knew there was something about that white shirt, and I just really gently, I didn't want to startle him by showing up unannounced like that. And when he paused and began to turn around, I introduced myself, but to my surprise, he still didn't recognize me at all. So I told him my name along with my online handle and explained that I was from the year 2025. He mentioned he was in his 40s, even though he did not give me the year, which made me realize I was speaking to a younger version of him, or perhaps even a version of him from another timeline. I explained that my angel had sent me, but I didn't know why. So I asked him to just record my visit in his journals, since I already knew that he keeps journals from like forever back, until we could figure out the purpose. No sooner had I made that request when I was instantaneously pulled back. I didn't even get a warning tug or anything. I was just back in my body, boom. It's frustrating, but my angel's guidance doesn't always come with clear explanations. Like sometimes he's sending me out to these places and I have no idea why. I just do my best to adapt and go with the flow. So I actually got some sleep after that, some real sleep. And then more towards morning, I had one of the most profound experiences I think I've ever had. It's right up there. Maybe it's not the most, but wow, really up there. So again, after waking back to bed, but I wasn't like trying to astral project on purpose again. I did put in some loose intentions because I know I spontaneously project. So the intentions I actually made were to visit the underwater UFO again or the Bennington Triangle. So instead, I spontaneously projected into a vibrant, lush meadow surrounded by trees and soaking in midday sunlight. The entire scene felt timeless. I had entered a space that existed beyond the limits of our physical world. I know all astral places are like, beyond the limits, but this was just extraordinary. I could feel the energies of both Pan, the spirit of nature and wildness, and Helios, the god of the sun, intertwining all throughout the space. This was a place of pure vitality, a sacred space where everything was perfectly in balance. The air was fresh, the energy was warm, the time was stretching out in ways that were impossible to comprehend. I spent what felt like an entire day there, though in the physical world, no more than a few minutes passed before I woke up again. It was so beautiful and had the endless feeling of eons passing. Like, I knew it was only one astral day, but it was still feeling like eons during certain moments. The boundaries between time, space, and my own self completely dissolved. The experience was a profound, pure connection with the natural world and the divine energies that pulse through all life. Now, I'm still processing the depth of this experience. It was a glimpse into a state of existence where the divine and the earthly come together in perfect harmony. Transcendental experiences like these are so difficult to put into words, but it has left an imprint on me that I know will continue to shape my understanding of life, energy, and the universe. I may share more about it in another episode. I did some writing about it, but I'm still processing it, so that could take some time for me to do. And that's a wrap for today's Timeless episode. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to stay connected. The channel is growing. Thank you all so much for your support. I've got 3 more intriguing astral projection experiences to share, so stay tuned for the next episode. Until then, happy astral travels, and may your journeys be filled with wonder.